I want to get into the like if you're Jerry Jones this morning, what are you pondering? And I'm not one to fire. I'm not going to fire Mike McCarthy before he is fired, or if he's going to be fired. But it is fair game to talk about because he did open the door before the playoffs even started. So if I'm him, I'm thinking, about that hourglass. I'm thinking, how many shots do I have left? What can I improve? How do I have to rehaul everything? Like, do I have to set a torch to this thing? Are we fumigating the entire organization? And of course, there's a lot of natural pointing to, myself included, to Bill Belichick as an option. Have I heard that there's connective tissue here? I have. It's definitely something to consider. But then a lot of people point to it and then they point away from it because they say the personalities will clash. It won't work. Bill wants full reign. He won't get it. I would just say to that, not so fast, because it's sort of lazy to think that. And if you really look at track record, I would be asymmetrical in my thinking about this. I would say Jerry Jones is inspired by strong people, strong presence. Jimmy Johnson, strong personality. Bill Parcells, he brought Bill Parcells in there. So let's not pretend that Bill Belichick wanting control or he's too big of a hard ass, is necessarily a deal breaker for Jerry. Maybe Jerry needs that. Maybe he's attracted, compelled by that. So if I'm trying to put myself in his head, and I don't operate in the world of billionaires and their decision making, so it's not that easy, but is there a question from Jerry's perspective along the lines of, do I want to take someone who was discarded by one of my biggest compatriots, pun intended, and competitive rivals? He and Mr. Kraft, they're friends. They also get after each other. They're at the top. They're like 1 and 1A. I don't know who's 1 and 1A, but as far as power, as far as influence in the league, if you're Jerry, is that a thought that you even have? I don't know how billionaires operate. Do you say, I want to marry someone's ex-wife after they had a beautiful marriage? Or do I say, I'll take him and I'll win with him? Do I not care? What's the ego of that part of it in making it work for the next couple of years for this organization? The Dan Quinn part of it, I think matters. I think if he gets rid of McCarthy, let's say he likes Dan Quinn a lot, which I think he does. Can he make him his head coach after yesterday's performance? It was so uninspired. It was so discouraging. Any shakeup you make there, you got to get rid of Dan Quinn. And so you're basically saying, you have to make this decision knowing Dan Quinn's going to go be the head coach somewhere. He's getting that love. And if I don't make him a head coach here, he's not likely to stay and work under another regime. So I have to be okay with losing Dan Quinn, who has been important and a game changer and a tone setter for this team. Also just consistency and familiarity, which we saw really plays into what the Patriots did. Then I would also say this, from Jerry's perspective, to consider as well. I think if you look at track record, he does appreciate a strong presence. I think that Bill Belichick would work better with him than other places in the National Football League. But it's also important to note, all 3 of his Super Bowl rings as an owner, Jerry Jones, were delivered to him by head coaches that came from where? The college ranks. Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer. Now, he hasn't gone back to that well since he got rid of Switzer, and that was 25 years ago. But you'd have to think, does that play into the appeal of this dude? Does it play into the, if you're an owner, do you want that familiarity? Do you change your stripes? Is that a pattern? Does that matter to you? And that would certainly make Jim Harbaugh sort of a sexy option here. If you want intensity, if you want, as what Taylor Lewan was saying, somebody to completely come back and revamp, switch things, put things on their butt, develop a sense of urgency, a bit of a wild card for sure, but a willingness to do whatever it takes, it's hard to find a better option. And I guess that depends on what Jim wants. Is you want to plug and play, come in there and take on Justin Herbert, or does he want to have to come and say, yeah, maybe we have to draft J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, we have to get rid of Dak and make a play here. So it's really fascinating.